I have been able to make my way through any of the articles about Donald Trump's latest indictment for mishandling classified documents. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if there's any wisdom here, but I just start to get a headache when I read these articles about Donald Trump's indictment for mishandling documents. It seems to be, a fight over paperwork. It seems to be a fight over trivia. It seems to be a prosecution for something that's not particularly important. It seems to be a fight over record keeping. I mean, really? Is this what it's come down to? Is this, what the big deal is? That we're fighting over record keeping and what exactly belongs in the National Archives? It just seems so minor. And then the other thing that grabs my attention is that there are all these articles decrying how Donald Trump is stoking anger and fury. And I think, to the extent I'm able to pay any attention at all, yeah, I do think Donald Trump is stoking anger and fury. But what the hell was the Black Lives Matter movement? Wasn't that all about stoking anger and fury and how that was righteous? In fact, we had to supersede, get rid of, turn our back on, forget about all the COVID restrictions once George Floyd died, because the anger and fury of the Black Lives Matter movement, that outweighed every other moral consideration. That outweighed all COVID restrictions, which until then, and then for the 2 years after then, COVID restrictions were the preeminent moral issue of our time. Tell me that I'm wrong. 40, you're wrong. So if it's wonderful for Black Lives Matter to be, filling people with fury and anger, motivating people to go out and commit massive numbers of crimes. Yeah, I know 90% of Black Lives Matter rallies were mostly peaceful, but we've had an absolute explosion of murder, of crime, a deterioration in the quality of life. Millions of people have been frightened. Millions of people have pulled their heads in. Millions of people are less likely to volunteer to do anything in the wider society. People are much more likely in big cities and around big cities to stay home, right, watch TV, and not get involved in the wider community. People are more incentivized to work from home. The Black Lives Matter crime spree that it unleashed, along with a huge increase in traffic deaths and pedestrian deaths, this was all based on the notion that it was righteous to be filled with anger and fury.